In our today's session, I'll be giving a brief introduction on what is Python, the different advantages and disadvantages of using Python, the various modes in which you can run a program in Python. So, let's get started. So, we'll first start with a bit introduction on the history of Python. So, Python is a programming language which was developed by Guido van Rossum in the year 1991. So, it was actually influenced with two programming languages. One is ABC language and the other is Modular 3. So, though Python is an easy to learn object oriented programming language, but the syntax rules are very simple. So we can say it's much more user friendly compared to other programming languages. Let's see some of the advantages of using Python. So the first one is easy to use, like I just said, as Python is very compact and is very easy to use object oriented language, it becomes really easy for someone to write down programs and compile them. Our next point is expressive. Python is really very expressive compared to other languages. Well, if you compare it with C or C++, you might have to write 3 lines or 4 lines of code to perform a particular action. Whereas in case of Python, you can just write a single line of code and do the same task easily. Moving on to the next topic, interpreted language. Python is an interpreted language and not a compiled one. This basically means that Python installation interprets and executes each of the line of the code. It makes Python very easy to debug language and is extremely suitable for beginners who are just learning the concepts of programming. Coming to the next point, completeness. Now, when you install Python, you'll get everything that you need to make a software, or if you need to write down a simple program. So, there are additional libraries which are already installed. You can use them. You can use them using the various modules of Python standard library. There's just an interesting point here. Actually, Python is also called batteries included philosophy simply because of this feature that it's complete and you get the library, you get to access all the additional libraries to perform any kind of task you want. Coming to our next point, cross platform language. Now, cross platform language or portable language means that you can run that program in any platform. So, whether you're using Windows, Mac, or any other operating system, Python is supported in all. So, that's why it is called as cross platform or portable language. Last topic is free and open source. Python is also freely available, which is why it is known as a free language, and it is called as an open source language because you can modify the existing code. You can modify it, you can improve it, or you can extend the code. Any language which can be modified, in which the source code is open to all, is always known as an open source language. Next, we'll discuss about the disadvantages of Python. The first disadvantage is its less number of libraries compared to C, Java, and Perl. Now, Python offers library support for almost all programs, but still, compared to other languages like Java, Perl, or C, the collection is quite limited. So, in some cases, these other languages might be a better option instead of Python. Next point is it's not the fastest. So, as Python is an interpreted language, it's not actually a fully compiled one. So, first, when you write a program, it's actually converted to a semi compiled internal bytecode, which is then executed by a Python interpreter. So, If you would have run a code which would have been fully compiled, then it would have been faster than this interpreted one. So in this case, Python is a little bit weaker. However, execution time needed for a Python code is not that fast compared to compiled languages. It is also difficult to convert Python code to any other language because it's the syntax are so easy that it's really very difficult if you write down a code in Python and then you want to convert it to C or Java. In every other programming language, the syntax rules are quite strict or it's not that simple. So it really gets difficult to convert any code from Python to any other language. Next, we'll be discussing about interpreter and compiler. Now, interpreter is basically a processor, it's a language processor, which converts a high level program into machine language. The compiler works in the same way, it also converts a high level language into machine language. There's just one main difference, that is, in case of interpreter, each line is executed one by one. So each line is converted into machine language and then it's executed. Whereas in case of compiler, you write the entire code and then the entire thing is converted into a low level language and all the errors are reported at the end as the entire thing is compiled at a time in one go. So, in case of interpreter, once you write a line, you execute it, you'll get the error. If you rectify the error, only then you'll be able to move on to the next line. Otherwise, you won't be able to proceed. However, in case of compiler, first you need to write down the program, save it, save the file, compile it. You'll get all the errors. You'll have to correct all the errors, do all kinds of modifications needed, and then finally compile the code again. If there are no errors, it will show you the result. It will execute, and you'll get the output. So let's start with working in Python. There are actually two different modes. One is the interactive mode and the other is the script mode. These two are basically the different modes in Python idle version. So I'll just show you how you can use it. Here it is. This is actually the interactive mode. In interactive mode, whatever you write, you'll get the output in the next line. So I'll just go ahead and write a formula, like suppose if I write 5 plus 2 and click enter, I'll get output in the next line. So as soon as you write something and click enter, you can see the result in the next line. So I just added two strings and I got the output in the next line. Yeah, so I just tried adding a string to an integer and I can see the error. So this is how the interactive mode works. Whatever code you have, you can write it down and each code will be executed. So I'll take input. Just write a comma b is equal to 10 comma 20. Okay, and I'm going to add a plus b. Finally, I'll just print sum. So here's how I can see the output. Now we have seen how to work on this interactive mode. Now I'll show you how to work on script mode. So what you have to do is go to file, click on new file. You'll get this window. Here you need to write your program. So I'll just write the same thing. Once you finish writing it, you'll have to go to file, save as. Give a name to it. I'll give it as addition. Save it. go to run and run module. So either you can click on run module from run option, or you can simply press F5 and you'll get to see the output on the interactive mode. So here is our output for the program we did in script mode. So basically what happens in case of interactive mode, you write each line, it gets executed, and you can get the output or the error in the next line. So it really gets difficult to see the entire code. So if you want to access this whole code written by you later, then script mode would be a better option, where you can save the code separately in a different, you can save it in a file and access it later whenever you want to. So that your instructions don't get sandwiched between the results and the errors, and it doesn't look too clumsy. Script mode would be better. So moving back to our presentation, we have come to the end of our slide. So that's all. In next session, I'll be discussing a basic program in Python. So for today, that's all. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you really like my video, then give a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos in Python, then you can subscribe to my channel. And I would really appreciate some constructive feedback on the same so that I can help you. Please do comment. I'll make sure that I read all your comments and try to make up more videos. Also, I have attached a link to my website in the description box below. Make sure you visit the website. There are some sample question papers and solutions uploaded. So you can surely check them out, and I hope it will be really helpful. That's all. Bye for today.